Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's video. We're going to have a look at the weather for next week to 10 days. For today's video, day 10 will take us to 6th of February, and we'll be able to extend that beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. May run around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for February itself, and I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just say that the first video saying 6 AM upload. We'll also release January Friday. We've got the ECM doing our 42 days / 6 weeks, okay, coming up for you around 7 o'clock this evening, and we're live streaming after 10:30 or at 10:30, so 4 videos and a live stream. One of the crazy days to GavsWeatherVids again today, really pushing out the content, so please like, share and subscribe on those videos. Thank you so much for both doing that. The EC42 day would normally be released on Saturday morning, but tomorrow we are actually going to have the first spring 2023 season 1 roundup. So I've still got that too. Got to get all the long range models together for spring for the first time this season. So that's the reason that the EC42 day is shunted to Friday night. Or Friday evening anyway. So please like, share, subscribe on vids. Thank you so much to all of you for doing that. And drop a comment, all that good stuff. Thank you so much. We need to put around 50 subscribers to get to 15.5k. So if you could get us a sub, tell friends and family to subscribe. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody. Right, we're going to start off with stratospheric developments. The stratospheric warming continues. Minor stratospheric warming. We have now got to around -40. With the black line, so beginning to look a little bit dramatic, isn't it? Not dramatic as if it was going up here, you know, having a proper SSW, but we have lifted the black line up quite significantly with the temperature at 10 HPA. We've gone from around -75 to around -40, so, you know, about 30 degrees worth of warming in a couple of days. That's quite significant. Go a little bit lower down to 30 HPA. Warming continues there as well, because closer to the troposphere. So gone from underneath -80 to above -60, to around -58, something like that. And excuse me, we should wait and see how much further up that black line goes over the next few days as the warming continues. So this is the midnight GFS operational run, showing that the core of the warmth is over Siberia, of course, but has penetrated in towards the top of the North Pole, lifting the temperature there up to around -30, something like that. So as we run through over the next few days, we continue with this warming over Siberia, continuing to move into the North Pole as well at times to the beginning of February. So by the time we get through to about the 4th of February, we're not all that far from about -20, I don't think, something like that. So on the scale, if we go back to here, I reckon we should be able to get that black line up towards there, somewhere around there. So it will look quite dramatic by the end of this warming when we get into the start of February, I think. Right, so into a more extended range, this is what happened. So that warming continues. We might get to around -16, something like that. The warming continues into the extended range, but again, we're not able to get rid of the stratospheric polar vortex. We are not seeing a breakdown of the PV. We're not seeing a split and whatnot. So the blue curves just continue there over the sort of Atlantic, Northern European, Greenland side of the North Pole. They do look very disrupted, so we definitely can get like a disruption of the stratospheric polar vortex, but we are not sort of getting rid of it. Not reversing zonal winds either with this. Going through to the GFS 6 step, again, all looks much of a muchness with these warmings continuing over Siberia and pushing in towards the North Pole as well, to around -20. Something like that. And then into the extended range again, just see a gradual weakening of the blue colours really, but again, not like a split polar vortex. That looks quite strange, doesn't it? But again, we're not splitting the PV, we're not reversing the zone winds, we're having stratospheric polar vortex displacement and disruption here, but not, you know, it's not a classic SSW this, and at the moment it doesn't look like there's much of a tropospheric response, but we should wait and see whether, whether we start seeing signs of a tropospheric response to this SPV disruption over the next week or two. So monitoring will continue. Central temperature ticked down a little bit yesterday. We are now down to 5.1, which is 1.3 degrees above average. That's provisional to a 26. That might tick down a little bit more. We're going to have another cold, frosty night to come tonight, I think, for the CET region. But then, naturally, that might tick up a little bit. So I imagine it's going to finish up very close, around 5 degrees, a few tenths of a degree either side, possibly, but not that far from 5 Celsius finish for this January CT, which will be a little bit above average, and offset to be a little bit below average December. And so, with 1 month left, we're going to be very close to average, so all to play for February, really. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles from Exeter today, home of the UK Met Office. You see the upper air temperature a little bit below average at the moment. They're going to tick up by the beginning of next week. And then as we go to the opening days of February, just ticking down a little bit. Then lifting up through the first week of February could actually become really quite mild. The green line, if the GFS operational run really takes off and becomes very mild indeed for a while anyway, through the first week of February. Excuse me. As we head on into the second week of February, there might be signs of some cooler or colder ensemble members coming in, but there's a lot of scatter then. So I think the second week of February is quite uncertain. Precipitation-wise, there'll be lots of dry weather into the beginning of February. Exeter gradually turning more unsettled maybe later on for the first week of February into the second week of the month. Temperature anomaly on the 27th of January to 4th of February going to be a bit above average. And the precipitation anomaly for the 27th of January to 12th February going to be drier than normal. The latest wind from that from earthnullschool.net shows that southwest winds are approaching. We've got them in across the north at the moment. Still some quite chilly air left in the south, but these milder west-southwesterly winds will get increasingly influential over the coming days. Right, so this is our latest UK Met Euro run. It's looking at midnight on Monday. So just putting in a slightly colder northerly wind into the north on Monday, but that doesn't last very long. Excuse me, winds will go back into the west by Tuesday. Looking relatively mild, wet and windy, particularly in the north for the final day of January. On into Wednesday, first day of February, and then beyond that to Thursday, 2nd of February. Again, all looking very westerly, very zonal, high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north. There'll be some wet weather in northern areas, probably mostly dry down in the south. And then high pressure starts to make a move by the 3rd of February, this time next week. High pressure reaching up from the southwest, might bring some cool nights, maybe some overnight frost, but by day probably pleasantly mild in the February sunshine. Icon looks like that again. We've got low pressure to bring some slightly cold air into the north on Monday. That gets pushed away by Tuesday. Wednesday, another sort of northwesterly push there. All looking very zonal, very Atlantic driven. Heading into next Friday, again drawing up wind from the southwest, so looks like it should be relatively mild and quite a bit of dry weather under that transient ridge as well. The GFS midnight run, so northwesterly winds again on Monday for the north, bring some cold air in there, mostly dry down south, and then into Tuesday and Wednesday. It's all Atlantic driven, again a little bit colder for Scotland, maybe with those northwesterly winds further south. Probably mostly dry and not too bad. On Thursday, a little bit of a transient ridge building up through the country. Excuse me, once again, brings a lot of dry weather with it. And probably a little bit on the chilly side by night, but by day again, relatively pleasant. Heading into the first weekend of February, high pressure is in control. That might deliver some overnight frost and fog, a little bit of a gruesome twosome in the south. But the north, we're still drawing in that southwest wind, so it should be really quite mild there. And then up to day 10 and beyond it, we just keep the Atlantic driven stuff going, really probably increasingly unsettled with bouts of rain as we get towards the 12th of February. But everything driving from off the Atlantic, so it does look, really quite mild. And then we've got the GFS 6Z, so once more that slight northerly into the north on Monday, back to westerlies on Tuesday, back to northwesterlies for the north on Wednesday, back to westerlies on Thursday. Friday, reaching high pressure, a little bit more strongly with that ridge of high pressure on Friday. So that does have greater potential for frost and fog at the end of week and into the first weekend of February, especially so for England and Wales, but even in the north, probably the risk of some frost, especially earlier on in the weekend. By Sunday, we are drawing up that southwest wind into Scotland and Northern Ireland, so mild air, is in them. But for England and Wales, I think there is a greater prospect of frost and fog and whatnot. Notice across these parts of Europe, by the way, you do have people watching from the Balkans and so on. Notice they've got a real northerly plunge going on. Very deep area of low pressure around Greece. They're looking very cold and wintry in that east and southeastern part of Europe. It's been a long time coming, the Balkan winter, but it looks like really it's going to start to bite over there. By the end of next week. So, for those of you in the Balkans, and I just said you have quite a few people watching, hello to you. Watch out, winter is about to get going. Right, so let's go back home anyway. So by day 10, which is Monday the 6th of February, high pressure is reaching to our south and east, probably still bringing risk of frost and fog in the far south, milder further north and west. In the extent range, so high pressure dominates the weather. Now in summer, this would be absolutely classic, wouldn't it? This is not that far away from the kind of patterns that we was having last summer with all of that hot, dry, sunny weather. Of course, it is only February, 8th of February, so an increasing risk of frost and fog, actually, beyond day 10, with the GFS 6Z run under this large ridge of high-pressure areas coming in from off the continent. So I reckon there's a good chance of inversion there. Again, especially so for England and Wales, a little bit less so, surprisingly, perhaps for Scotland, where it could be milder. But for England and Wales, definitely a risk of frost and fog. The sun is getting a little bit stronger when we get into February, so by day I would imagine that could feel relatively pleasant in the February sunshine, possibly getting temperatures around 10 Celsius, something like that. But by night, I think that would be really quite a cold, frosty, foggy type scenario. And that carries on into the second week of February. And then right at the very end, GFS 6M tries to build some high pressure up around Greenland and Iceland and attempts to bring down a cold northerly. Again, that's like 384 hours away, so I wouldn't take that overly seriously. If you enjoyed the video, then please do you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. And why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos, all of that good stuff. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. I guess we've got to put on around 50 subscribers. That's all to get to 15.5k. So please give us a sub to our friends and family to subscribe. It'd be absolutely incredible if you could do that. Right, GM, again with a northwesterly to northerly wind on Monday for the north anyway. Back to westerlies on Tuesday. Westerlies on Wednesday as well. Thursday, high pressure trying to build up from the south, but a little bit more unsettled, I think, with the GM compared to the GFS. However, by the first weekend of February, Saturday before, high pressure reaches in from the south and from the southwest. So again, same idea, high pressure takes over for the first weekend of February. Probably a risk of frost and fog, especially for England and Wales, a little bit less of a risk for Scotland and for Northern Ireland. By day 10, Atlantic's trying to get in, but overall, it looks like that high pressure is holding quite firm. So frost and fog potential continues there for England and Wales at least. And then the ECM WF looks like that once more. We're pulling in those northerly winds to the north on Monday. Back to westerlies on Tuesday, westerlies on Wednesday. High pressure reaching up from the southwest Thursday and Friday. Should bring a lot of dry weather with it. Could be some frost and fog overnight in the south, relatively mild up in the north. Makes less of that ridge of high pressure for the ECM compared to all of the other model output, or certainly compared to the GFS and the GM. Anyway, through the first weekend of February, it's more unsettled and consequently it's milder. By day 10, actually looking quite stormy. A deep area of low pressure in the Atlantic, bringing what looks like about a very wet and windy weather in from the west there. I think that might be a little bit over top, might be a little bit of a synoptic outlier with the deepness of that low. Not much of the other model output is deepening that low to anywhere the same degree. So that might be a little bit of an outlier. Notice it is also trying to build some high pressure into the northwest of Russia. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from TibetShow.com. We'll be lots of dry weather down in the south, some showery bursts up in the north. Always cold enough for a few wintry showers across northern parts of Scotland. and whatnot. We go through into the 2nd of February. Got some wet weather up in the north and into the east as well. Otherwise, quite a bit of dry weather for south and east, wettest in the north and west. By day cam, it looks like turning wet and windy, but of course that low pressure could be, a little bit over the top in the Atlantic. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10, which gets us to the 6th of February from ECMDF.int. 14 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure in the Atlantic, high pressure to the south, so we're flat as pancake with that, and driest weather in the south, wettest weather is in the north. Then we have 13 with high pressure reaching up from the south towards Scandinavia. Low pressure is out to the northwest. That's a drier scenario. Should be relatively mild, but there could be frost and fog for the south and the east with that. That's kind of in line with what the GFS is doing, that option, I think. And then we've got 9 members of the ECM ensembles. And this looks a little bit like the operational run will be included in this, with high pressure trying to build across Scandinavia and up back into western Russia, but deep low pressure in the Atlantic, so looking very unsettled, very wet and windy, maybe even a little bit stormy with that particular option. We've got 8 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure from northern Scotland into Scandinavia. That's going to be a dry and cold option. We'll get the wind into the east. There have been 1 or 2 GFS operational runs have been flirting with the idea of a Scandinavian high and easterly winds. But I don't think we've been able to pick any of those up on our videos. But, there's been 1 or 2 that have been appearing, that have been sort of flirting with the idea of a Scandi and easy wind. So we've got 8 members of the ECM ensembles going in that sort of direction. And then, conversely, we've got 7 members of the ECM ensembles looking very unsettled with low pressure in from off the Atlantic, a little bit like that. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This gets us to the 19th of February. No, it does get us to the 11th of February with 19 members of the ECM ensemble. I do wish the Icelandic metals would bring me clusters back. It's so much easier to interpret them. No, yes, let's do that again. We've got 11 members of... No, we've not. We've got 19 members of the ECM ensembles at 2 weeks out, which is the 11th of February. Low pressure in from... Not beyond the magic water, not yet, too early in the day. Low pressure with these 19 members of the ECM ensembles in from off the Atlantic. Right, we've also got 10 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure over and to the east of the coast. That will be frost and fog and that sort of thing. And then we've got another 10 just here with low pressure in from the Atlantic this time, so that's going to be a milder and more unsettled option. We have got 6 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure up to the northwest, high pressure over France. Winds will be coming up from a southwesterly direction. That's going to be mild and driest in the south. And then we've got 6 here, which is a battleground scenario. High pressure is towards Scandinavia and northeastern Europe. Low pressure is out of the Atlantic. So, there's a battle going on there between cold weather to the east with the block and mild weather in the west with the low, and which way that will go, who can say? Right, CFS lastly for February. So these are 500, this is for 500 millibar, 700 millibar high anomaly for February. With low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, winds in from a west or a southwesterly direction. The temperature anomaly is a little bit above average, a mild February predicting, and a little bit on wet side as well. CFS has been rock solid about this for many weeks, even months, that we're going to have a mild but quite wet February. We shall see. And we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And we thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, so that's 10 to 14 there for today done and dusted. We have got the EC 42-day forecast coming up for you around 7 this evening, and then we'll have our live stream at 10:30, live streaming the GFS 18Z, aka the pub run. Tomorrow we'll have the 6 a.m. upload. We will have the weekend forecast. We'll have the first spring seasonal roundup, and there'll be a 10 to 14 there as well. Do keep checking back to the channel for more. Thank you so much, everybody, for that. And we'll see you a little bit later on. For this video, though, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.